Up next, you're going to learn why I've recently found out the value of tempo runs for my training, even 5K races, lactate testing, lactate levels explained in regards to tempo, LT1 and LT2, technology being able to track lactate and glycogen in real time, and a bunch more. Let's get into it. I found out that tempo runs were really valuable, especially if you can get in the right, I know you hate the zone, in the right heart rate, where, it's basically where you're producing just a little bit of lactate. And honestly, the only way to know that is by doing the lactate monitor testing, where you do the blood pricks, which they're expensive. 1, 2, you need to pretty much be either on a track or on a treadmill. You need to have someone else do it for you. Only pros have access to this. So this is why we do field. This is why we do pace. And this is why we use heart rate. And I'm in the zone-ish. I'm going to get myself personally, I'm going to get a lactate test done, lactate threshold test done. I want to get one done probably in the beginning of the season and then closer towards racing, so I can tighten up my heart rate zones. And then I use those heart rate zones when I go to race. So they're a bit expensive, but it's more realistic. We talked about VO2 max test. I got one done in my life. I'm never going to get another one done. My VO2 max is deteriorating as I age. It doesn't do anything more for me. So I'm interested in certain numbers because I'm a nerd like you are. This is where, Krebs cycle and all that gets really interesting. So we'll save that for another podcast.
The simple thing is with the lactate, when you're talking about numbers, is you've got the 2 millimole of lactate in the blood and the 4 millimole. These are two zones. So the classic lactic threshold that people talk about, which is between, zone 3 and zone 4, is usually where the lactate is around about 4 millimoles of lactate in the bloodstream. And the 2 millimole zone is your fat burning, carb burning boundary or threshold. So that could be L1, LT1 and LT2. So LT, lactic threshold 1, is at first turn point where you turn from fat burning to carbohydrate burning. So this is why you need to do a lot of easy running in that level, because that's what you're trying to do, is become more efficient at fat burning. And the 4 millimole level is the threshold you're talking about, which we're trying to deflect that curve a little bit to the right so we can run more at a quicker pace aerobically without building up lactate in the bloodstream. And again, as you said, you'd go into a lab or you'd run a treadmill and have finger pricks every 3 minutes. You pick up the pace and find out where it is. However, the exciting thing is quite interesting. I was talking to Super Sapiens. They do constant glucose monitoring. You put a little patch, and I've been experimenting with them to work out how much carbs you have in your bloodstream, how much glucose. Diabetics have been doing this for a while, but runners can now do it to see if they're going to, we talk about bonking, running out of energy of glucose as you're training. But they're also, the reason I'm mentioning this is very shortly they'll be coming out with a constant glucose monitoring system and a constant lactate monitoring system, which means you've got the holy grail. You have a patch on. You can look at your phone and your watch and say, wow, I'm just over threshold. I need to slow down. I need to speed up. Oh, I'm running out of sugar. I need to take in more quick gel, take more energy on board. I think it'll be banned from racing because it's, in a sense, it's a form of, well, not cheating, but you're getting all the information there. You're not running and saying, oh, I'm feeling a bit tired here. I need more fuel. It's giving you all the statistics, but in training, what a tool to dial into the exact numbers you need to train and race at.
Future Darren here. Super Sapiens, as of the time of this published episode, has done a strategic pivot and thanked all their customers. They don't seem to be actually selling their product anymore. And this from DC Rainmaker. Ultimately, though, the core reason Super Sapiens likely failed, in this case, their investors probably pulled the plug, was that the path forward to getting traction in the US from approval standpoint wasn't viable. And undoubtedly, they were looking at European numbers and not seeing significant growth. Additionally, their complete dependence on Abbott Labs was rather problematic. For a tech company that wanted to move fast, it led to things like requiring a phone for all communication with a Garmin watch or bike computer. Certainly not something ideal for a triathlete in a race. So see the link in the show notes or video description below for his opinion and some data, quick review of him using it. It's a shame, as this was a great tool for amateur athletes, I think at least, to really understand their bodies while rather expensive. We'll see what the technology and lower cost and changes in race rules in the future brings. We'll see. We got AI. We got a whole lot of things happening. If you want to learn more about this topic, we went into further detail. You should go and check that out right here.